All right, next question up. We're dealing with a proportion problem in case it's not, glaringly obvious. And what we need to do first, as always, it's always going to be reading the question sentence first. Because as good as you might think you are at calculating proportions, you have to be just as good as setting them up. And to do that, you can't rush. You have to go through the information one at a time. So first things first, question sentence. And it says, if we have 36 pieces of fruit in total, how many are strawberries? Okay, sounds good, everybody. So starting off, just so we don't confuse ourselves, what's the one word that describes what we are looking for? What is the goal, the ultimate goal of this problem? Strawberry. Right there. How many strawberries? So we have to stay calm, cool, and collected here, because if we're not, we're going to make mistakes. So again, how many are strawberries? Let me make this just a little bigger there. There we go. So how many are strawberries? What we're also given here, everybody, is what? The total. If there are 36 pieces of fruit in total. So booyah. So we have our two pieces of information that are being compared that I'm going to write my proportion based off of. So what I'm going to do here is I'll say that we have strawberries on top. And then we're going to have our total in the denominator. Just go ahead and write it like that. Now, here's where things might get a little confusing. If you've been used to doing problems where the ratio that you're given is always, oh yeah, A to B, or red to blue, or apples to oranges, and you're not used to seeing total, you'll see something pretty different here. So first things first, everybody, before we get into all that craziness, help me out. Strawberries is what we're looking for, so I'll just go ahead and set my proportion up with X on the top. But what number are we using for the total on the bottom? What does that question sentence say? Yeah, it says 36 right there. So we'll go ahead and have 36 right there. And now here's our only goal. Our only goal now is to properly set up this right side. What we need to be successful here is going to be having strawberries up top and total in the denominator. Here's what they say. I'm going to highlight this in green. They say that 3 out of every 9, in this fruit basket, 3 out of every 9 are bananas. What does that mean? How do we interpret the 3? How do we interpret the 9? Well, the 3 is represented by bananas. Let me read that for you. 3 out of every 9 are bananas. So the 3 is representing bananas. So again, 3 out of every 9 fruit are bananas. So 3 bananas out of every 9 fruit. Again, I'm being very, very, very specific here. Everybody, do we see how this sentence gives us 3 bananas out of every 9 fruit? Do we see that? 3 out of every 9 are bananas. So 3 bananas out of every 9 fruits. So which of these numbers can we currently use, everybody? Can we currently use the 3 or the 9? And where does it go, top or bottom? Let's see. Okay, I see a lot of folks saying the 9 can be used. And where would that go? Top or bottom? Because 9 is correct, but would it go on the top or the bottom? So the correct answer here is going to be bottom. It's going to be the bottom. Because everybody, what does the top represent? What does the top represent? What do we see right here? Clearly, the top is what? Strawberries, yeah. Do we have strawberries? No, we have bananas out of the total fruit. 9 represents the total fruit, everybody. 9 is the bananas and strawberries together. That's what that represents. So guess what? We already have the total. This is what we have to pay attention to. Because if you're working too quickly, you'll think that you don't have the total yet, and you might be confused and add the 3 and the 9 together to put the 12 down here. And that's the trap of this question. So before I continue, got to reemphasize the point. 3 out of every 9 are bananas means that you have 3 bananas for every 9 total fruit that you present. So that's why 9 belongs here. Up next, though, is the bigger question, the more annoying question, I think we can be honest about that, is, okay, well, coach, if 9 belongs in the bottom magically, then what am I supposed to put up here? Well, everybody, let's start with this. What are we representing up top? What is the word that we're representing up top? Yeah, we're representing strawberries. That's what you have to wrap your head around. Because if you know that you need strawberries, look at this sentence right over here, everybody. If 3 out of every 9 are fruit, then what's left over? How do we get what's left over? Yeah, we're throwing 6 in the chat box. We're just spamming 6. That's because we know that if 3 are bananas and we have 9 total, well, then guess what? We can go ahead and subtract the bananas from the total, and we will have 6 strawberries for this ratio. That's what we're going to have. So now we can put the proper number in the proper place. 6 goes right there because, again, we found 6 for strawberries because 6 plus 3 gives you the 9 total, and that's why 9 goes on the bottom because of total. Now that we're here, we're good to go. Let's go ahead and just copy that proportion right there, and let's solve. We can cross multiply and divide, but I'm not a big fan of doing 36 times 6. I know it's 216, but I don't care. I'm going to save myself a little bit of time by noticing the convenient comparison of going from 9 to 36. Because 9 going to 36, that's times 4. And I can compare the same things in the same way by multiplying from right to left, same direction, times 4. Everyone, 6 times 4 leads us to the correct answer. Yeah, which is 24. And so there we go. X, or the number of strawberries, equals 24. And that's why the correct answer here is answer choice B.